Hello again, boys and girls. We are going to get ready to read our reading story for this week. But remember, before we start reading, remember that good readers will ask themselves questions and read to find the answers to the questions. And then maybe once they find the answer to one question, they'll use the term "I wonder" to come up and generate more questions that they might be able to ask. And this strategy of asking and answering questions helps us to understand what we are reading better. Let's see how a good reader can ask and answer questions about this story. Look at the title of this. What can you do with a paleta? One thing I might ask is, I wonder what a paleta is. I'll look for the answer to this question as I read, and then I'll find some more questions and answers too as I continue to read. On this page, I get clues as to what paletas are. There's a paleta wagon that carries a treasure of icy paletas. Well, that tells me that paletas must be something cold that you eat, kind of like a popsicle maybe. What else can the girl do with a paleta? What do you think she could do with one? I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll have to read the story to find out. This type of story is called a fiction story. A fiction story has events and people that are made up by the author. Look at the cover of this book. A clue that it's a fiction story is that the pictures have been drawn by someone. They're not the type of pictures like that would look like you took them with a camera. They are the type of pictures that looks like someone drew them. And so they often have these types of illustrations or these types of stories. Now, there's a couple of words that you may need to know about before we read this story. The first one is wagon. Do you know what a wagon is? Some of you might. A wagon is basically a cart with wheels on it, and sometimes you can pull it behind you, or you can push it in front of you. A sarape is a Spanish word for a brightly colored shawl that you would wear around yourself. And a barrio is the Spanish word meaning neighborhood. So those are some words that you needed to know before we read this, so you knew what was going on in the story and you could better understand it. Here we go.
What Can You Do with a Paleta? By Carmen Tafola. Illustrated by Magali Morales.
So what can you do with the paleta? That is the title. Who is Carmen Tafola? That is the person who wrote the book, the author of the book. That means that's the person who wrote the text and the words to the book. Illustrated by Magali Morales. Who is Magali Morales? What did that person do? Illustrated by means that is the person who drew the pictures to the book.
Where the big velvet roses bloom, red and pink and fuchsia. Where the accordion plays sassy and sweet. Where the smell of crispy tacos, or buttery tortillas, or juicy fruta floats out of every window. And where the paleta wagon rings its tinkly bell and carries a treasure of icy paletas in every color of the sarape. That's my barrio.
Remember, a sarape is a brightly colored shawl, and a barrio is a neighborhood.
You can dance to the accordion, you can smell the tacos, but what can you do with a paleta? You can paint your tongue purple and green and scare your brother. Or maybe learn to make tough decisions. Strawberry or coconut?
So we've learned that paletas come in different colors. Now we know they come in different flavors. You can get a strawberry paleta or a coconut one.
You can make new friends. Give yourself a big blue mustache. Or create a masterpiece. You can use one to cool off, like Mama does. Theo once won a baseball game by offering one to the batter, right when the ball was being pitched.
These must be pretty good to distract the batter from when the ball is being pitched.
You can help the señora at the fruit stand make it through a long, hard day. But I think the very best thing to do with a paleta is to lick it and slurp it and sip it and munch it and gobble it all down, where the big velvet roses bloom red and pink and fuchsia, where the accordion plays sassy and sweet, where the smell of crispy tacos or buttery tortillas or juicy fruta floats out of every window, and where the paleta wagon rings its tinkly bell and carries a treasure of icy paletas in every color of the sarape. That's my barrio.
Thank you for listening to the book today, boys and girls. We will read it again tomorrow and talk about some other aspects of it. Have a great day.